streets with a view.
You can't move forward unless you give back something to the community.
Revitalizing more than buildings.
Told me if I ever need a job, to give them a call.
Theirs is a story that fuels the soul.
All aboard, it's time for Built to Last.
Built to Last is brought to you by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Labor and Management Committee and Armstrong Ceilings. Faster, easier, better.
Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Mark Nilsson.
And I'm Monica Peterson. We're social distancing here at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Apprenticeship and Training Center, where the hands that build America are learning their trade from the ground up.
Part of learning about being a union tradesman or woman should go deeper than simply learning a craft. It should also include an understanding of the deep, rich history of how labor unions started. Well, in an historic neighborhood on Chicago's South Side, there's a unique place for the apprentices of today to do just that.
We are the nation's first officially labeled African American Labor History Museum. We are located in Chicago, Illinois, in the Pullman National Monument.
We're here to preserve and interpret the story of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, America's first black labor union to receive a charter under the American Federation of Labor.
We get asked a lot to get involved in different things. And Dr. Hughes asked me if I would come out and see what they're doing out there at the Porter Museum, and I said absolutely.
I wanted the African American population in the Pullman community to know that they have a cultural heritage connection that could say to children of African descent that you can start from nothing and one day be something.
And if you really dive into it, without those gentlemen fighting for our needs, we wouldn't have 134 today, we wouldn't have the building trades, we wouldn't have the CFL.
It was through our partnership and connectivity between the Electrical Workers Minority Caucus and the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 134, that connected us to the museum.
When we got the call, I didn't know about the museum. We lacked knowledge of our own heritage.
Back in the day, people gave their lives for the right for a fair wage, to be safe at work. It's great for our kids to be able to go out there and tour through it so they understand how Chicago came to be Chicago.
One of the reasons that I wanted the apprentices to be here was to see what it was like for a union to begin.
The railroad magnate George Pullman, in his design for the luxury railroad train car, he had a vision for what he wanted the service to be like, and that pool of employees was not available. So he went south to recruit newly freed African American slaves.
Pullman Porters made him a tremendous amount of money and increased the stock of his company by the quality of service that they provided.
They got 4 hours sleep. They had to sleep sitting up in the smoking car. They often worked in the capacity of a conductor, but they didn't get conductor's pay.
So, where is our equity?
They organized Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, August 25th, 1925.
These gentlemen left us a proof of concept of what organizing looks like, primarily because they had the leadership of A. Philip Randolph.
When you think about what A. Philip Randolph did in the time he did it, the membership made him. But they made him because he was the guy that was going to bring them through the worst times they've ever seen, and did it.
Pullman Porters have been trying to establish a union for decades. They knew that if they were out front, they would be fired. Well, A. Philip Randolph didn't work for the Pullman Company, nor was he a Pullman Porter. They began to cultivate a culture. It was very organized, almost like military-like.
And the way that they were able to do it is through brotherhood, through union organizing, through labor. They did it with dignity and respect.
It took them 12 years for the Pullman Company to acquiesce, as we say. They took a job that was menial and perfected it.
The pay wasn't that well, but it was the tips that made them very wealthy. They would, become property owners, business owners.
But their wives were the ones who had china and lace tablecloths and wore furs. They drilled into their children the importance of education.
They put their kids through college, paid off their homes, and created lives that they could be very proud of.
They were the standard of middle class in the Black community. But people don't know that, and we're trying to amass the interest of as many young people as we can.
Because it's not just the Pullman area that needs to know about this here. It's everybody.
Theirs is a story that fuels the soul.
I hope that our apprentices today took away that what we have today came from somebody else.
The Pullman brothers actually laid the foundation for the union that I'm in today.
I'm proud to be a part of that.
Just delighted and thrilled that they have adopted us, if you will, and saw the value in what we do.
This place is the epicenter for cultural economic development, for urban tourism and hospitality. We spawned a for-profit CDC, a Community Development Corporation.
The idea is to rename the street Randolph's Way and create combination housing and tourist destination.
You know, we do this for the impact that it will have for generations to come. We do this so that we can always honor this story properly.
And once they come and they're exposed to this story, they leave changed people.
You know, she wanted to light up this big mural. Obviously, that's what we do.
Park Chicago offered to pay for all of the material and the lighting, connecting IBW Local 134 members and the contractors to donate their time and our skill to make sure that one of the most important figures in labor history was highlighted in the Pullman area.
And that mural is so important because you see A. Philip Randolph standing there with his suit on and his overcoat on, his nice hat. And you see a lot of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car members in the background. But in the front, you see a lot of the firemen. You see a lot of the coal workers in the front. And what that says to me is, and to everybody that walks past, hard work should be celebrated.
You know, after we installed the lights, we installed them during the day, you can actually see the output of the light on the mural. And so I went back that night so I could see it, took pictures, and it actually lit up like the sky. It was beautiful.